Alright, so hello everybody, my name is Wim. Okay, today's video is called, well, today I'm going to talk about AB 2624. It's called Privacy. The Democrats named it is called, the Democrats named it Privacy Verification Support Service Providers. And that's the name of this unconstitutional bill anyway. But yeah, it's made by Mia Bonta. You know that's why. There it is. So yeah, so this bill here called Privacy Verification Service Providers is made by Mia Bonta, but now Carl DeMille has renamed it as the Stop Nick Shirley Act, and I don't know why. Well, I think I know why now. Yes, because this bill has something to do with Nick Shirley, but that's read about it. I know it has passed the Senate. But I bet I couldn't call in my local representatives and ask for a no vote on this stupid constitutional bill. There's a co-authors for it anyway. If you want to look at the votes, it's right here. But that's read about it, alright? And you can also read about the bill right here. So just let you know anyway. Yeah. This bill called the Privacy Immigration Service Support Services, or also known as the Stop Nick Shirley Act, well, it's supposed to get signed into law on October 1st. Yeah. That's what I heard from Carl DeMille anyway. But I heard it. I'm talking about this because it's a very unconstitutional bill, and I don't know why these. But the problem is that most of the California Democrats are pushing our constitutional bills, and that's why. And this is not good at all. But let's read about this, okay? So existing law. Well, just health and service providers, employees, volunteers, patients, individuals, and all the violence, harassment, and public aviation design healthcare facility to complete application of Secretary of State purposes. Residence address contain public record. Always prevents community identity. The person, project of psycho distance, exceeding law, design healthcare services, and gender health, everything healthcare for services. And healthcare services. Under existing law, any person in false statement of vacation guilty is a misdemeanor. Alright, 16 law, person, businesses, association, public knowing, posting, public displaying, disclosing on the internet websites, on social media. Reservation design, healthcare services, patient, provider, assistant of the same home address, intent, instead of third person, great body harm, of the identified of the play to a concern of the person as specified, person identified of the posting of display, co-assistant of that person or specified. Existing law additionally prohibits a person business, soliciting, selling, or trading of internet, social media information, design of services, patient, provider, and attendant and described above. Existing law establish a cause of action, objective or negative relief, a violation of provisions. And the 16 law permits a person posting on internet or social media another person and the use of crime involve violence and a violence against the sign health care services of the assistant. Home address, personal information, image, or protective health services, patient, provider, assistant, and other individual citing the same home address. This bill was commencing October 1st, 2027. Okay, so this is way after the DOH Assurance Act goes to effect. Okay. Stipulates established address, there's a program design, immigration, support services, and a private employee volunteer as defined, of whose threats, violence, harassment, Explanation of the creation of this bill information, services, employees, intent of this person, of the service provided by everyone, volunteer individuals. And the moment address and information would commit of the same individual. And this board would, if it is opposing this bill, would recommend a local program. Okay, insisting conditional perversions will require a statute of limits. Right of the right public bodies, rights of public officials adopted to its administration and is protected by obligatation of the British images. This bill is stated in findings to the effect. California Constitution requires the state abuse local agencies and school districts certain costs mandated by the state. Strategic provisions established on making the enforcement. This bill will provide immigration mandates, certain mandates, enforcement, and require the specified reason. The regard of other mandates, this will provide that commission mandates determines that bill will mandated by the state enforcement. Others shall be restricted by necessary provisions noted above. So that's what this bill is called. Profession, yeah. And so the name of this one is called Privacy for Immigration Support Service Providers. Yeah. Well, Carl Miles is calling this bill the Stop Nick Shirley Act, and so is Nick Shirley himself. Yeah. So what is California Stop Nick Shirley Act? What is California's Nick Shirley bill really about? Well, let's read about this. So a bill will extend protections for people, legal health care, and privacy pushback of administrators, state journalists, and fund. Embassy Bill 3644 expand California's state home program, administrative services. 7 years ago, roads of addresses and state of the California Secretary of State. Same member, Mia Bonta, Oakland Democrat bill author, hearing Thursday. It's about safeguard privacy, digital, and safety immigration services and workers and families. Provider of this driven out, communities lose access for services, and help survive and thrive. But GOP Assembly member Carl Mile of San Diego argues provision of the bill, which bans a person from posting on the internet and first information for any disaggregation service provider, and tend to cause harm, aims, undermine, and organizations and journalists like Shirley. Nick Shirley posted a video criticizing the bill. His private includes 25 because they have Smalley Child Centers in Minnesota, widespread trigger of surge of immigration activity in the state. DeMille has dubbed the bill the Stop Nick Shirley Act, and DeMille is privacy hearing earlier this month. It's not protecting people from violence. This is about threatening and intimidating people who are trying to shine on a light on bad behavior. It looks like I reread that part, but yeah. Oh yeah. Now look up everybody's calling it the Stop Nick Shirley Act. Here's what's supposed to help. Okay. Yeah. I already read this part, but I guess I can read it again for you. Just to tell you anyway. It's keeping up the coverage of percentage fill as well as before. Now watching them sniping by legislator for weekly what's your percentage and saying do. I just sales for convenience of immigration, so knows immigration covered laws. She was supposed to be surgery house looking for her. I was very shocked of the stylist Creation for Amendment rights. Okay, someone that says the pocket I'm doing. The First Amendment right is going back to mother's house. It said one of the phone calls says that receive, which is support the bill, and it allows certain workers to hide public databases of the big society registry program is your past in the decision. Both of the Star Republican legislators have concerted I will argue that it's unconstitutional science of the investigators of government wrongdoing. Not only that they're unwilling to investigate fraud, the legislator when they're moving the direction. And Senator Josh Hoover, so we got the GOP press conference for last week, and the proposal passed the Assembly Public Committee last week and moving through the legislator. So expanding to the home program. Initially, domestic violence. Cover the safe program helps which access records of the Discover 60 of the who and the service is eligible. Since nearly years ago, eventually has been in spite of stalking, sexual assault, and trafficking, as well as people's health, and care about the COVID-19 pandemic by healthcare officials, eligible individuals, and assistance of the threats of violence. Last year, California has passed expanding of the who were coming to gender health care. Though the bill is mostly a part line for receive part of bipartisan. The city just two Republican member have over the floor. And in the measure of a simple 2624 worldwide eligibility of a safer home program and MHC of surveillance and silence of the Congolese. Stopping independent journalists. So some COP members, particularly Carl Mile in San Diego, riled against the bill, arguing it violates protection of press and limits journalists and against fraud, waste, and abuse. And committee early this month, Mile has pointed a provision of the bill. It will ban a person only on the internet and the information image immigration services provider. Provisions stay on the who is intact, mission of the limit of the great bodily harm and reasonable fear. Okay, Democrats has dubbed the bill the Stop Nick Shirley Act, and the conservative social media in 2095 Minnesota was a fraud, and the students of investigation of Friday Shirley, in February Shirley vested similarly run in Center San Diego, because there's running at Focus facility is no child present. Jamal argues that the bill covers Shirley and other judges from investigating expertizations and closely aligns with sections, and protecting from violence at the mile, and spreading and stimulating people of trying to lie to bad behavior, nothing of the sphere of the transparency. During the Fox News segment, Carl Sunshine, President Donald Trump's board deputy communications urged Governor Gavin Newsom to announce the bill, calling it all right space of legislation, and the journalist as California. Shorty himself, so 5-minute video covering Democrats legislators, proposal of this author. Democratic Assembly member Mia Bonta of Oakland, Mayor of Attorney General, California Attorney General Rob Bonta, instead of going after the fraudsters, said next to the video, he's trying to make it criminal, going after the people committing this fraud. Actually, calling shocking. And Assembly member Bonta, attended the bill attempts misuse of the proposed information, especially the actions of the threats and citing of violence, and under the lawful speech of the sets of tire, right? Bonta, she has her stepdad. It's over it. Negotiating how service providers are doing their job every single day because of this level of hate, said public safety hearing. This proposal has since been excluded mention of social media through that language making of generating healthcare convenient program. LD Rodriguez, that's about support of the service for the last year. Foundation California actually has been shocking. This law has extended for 30 days. No one has issued for 30 days until now when the speculation was obvious. Where you said this, that now this triggers administration, or is that for me? Alright, well. So that's what this bill's all about, yeah. It's called Prevention of Immigration and Support Services Providers, and the Democrats named it. While the California Republicans, including Carl and Meyer, are calling this the Stop Nick Shirley Act. That's why. But now, Let me tell you something about this bill. I hate this bill. You know, that's why. It's very unconstitutional. And I believe Mia Bonta needs to be voted out. You know, that's why. So Mia Bonta lives is in District 18 in Oakland, California. Yeah, well, I hate this anyway. I'll look for Mia Bonta's Republican competitor. Okay. You got they got Andrew Sanford is also another Democrat. Okay. I see. The two races. Well, vote for her competitor if you can. Because you know what? Let's see. Okay, so Mia Bonta's competitor is another Democrat named Audrey Sanford. I guess you're better off voting for him anyway. But still. I don't like Mia Bonta creating these. Doing this. I guess I really hate her too. Just like, you know. Well, we need to learn something here. You know, that's why. Yeah, well, Raw Bonta, well, it would enforce the Stop Nick Shirley Act, that's why. But you won't enforce folder ID, that's why. Here, that's why. So here it is. So yeah, Raw Bonta will enforces AB 2624, also known as Privacy Protection, what is known as Privacy Immigration and Support Service Providers, or the Stop Nick Shirley Act, whatever you want to call it, this unconstitutional bill. Yeah, he will enforce this bill. He will enforce this bill, this law when he gets signed a law, but but not the folder ID. But not the folder ID that's That's Prop 39 anyway. So if you pass Prop 39, Rob Bonta won't enforce it. But he will enforce the bill called the Privacy Integration Support Services Providers, or the Stop Nick Shirley Act. You know, that's why. But this is a very unconstitutional bill, and that's why. You know. I believe that, and yes, it's supposed to get signed into law on October 1st. Now what happened? Well, what I heard from Carl DeMille is that if it does get signed into law, is that he will find a way how to get it blocked in court. I'm not sure how that works, but you can try. But I guess they can try that anyway. Yeah, but I know I heard the vote. I know. So yeah, yeah, Huntington Beach. But let's talk about that. So. Oh, here, see, when Michael Gates was the city attorney of Huntington Beach, you can also read right here. He was having the voter ID law in Huntington Beach. So. And Michael Gates will explain Huntington Beach's voter ID law. That's why. Oh yeah, and yes, Rob Bonta did sue Michael Gates on voter ID. So that's why. But this is why we need a vote for Michael Gates for Attorney General. That's why. Here's why. Here is why. Why will Michael Gates enforce voter ID but not AB 2624? This is why you should vote for Michael Gates for Attorney General. Here's why. Michael Gates will support enforcing 40 requirements of the addiction prevent Sator Arlene Beach state level bans. He opposes between 640 credits the bill directs attack on First Amendment rights and defends individuals' government spending, and he argues promoting privacy and accountability in Sacramento. So that's why. So now I know Carl Miles urging people to veto. Is urging people to ask Gavin Newsom to veto the bill. I don't know if I think he will sign into law anyway. So the best we can do is try to get it to. The best thing we can do is, yeah, I know Colorado is trying to get. Hopefully, Colorado can get that bill blocked in court. Can get that law blocked in court. Hopefully, but you know what? That's all we can do anyway. Because I hate this bill too. That's why. But yeah, I know. The California Democrats are making very unconstitutional bills. And I hate this. I don't like this. I know. It has to stop. I don't know when the constitutional bills are going to stop. Or are there going to be more unconstitutional bills next year? Well, probably. And I don't know why. And it needs to stop, though. That's why. Anyway, here's BatteryInTheBills.com. You already saw this thing anyway. Oh. Now, Julie Barrett. The woman also has the YouTube channel called Conversation Ladies of America. Well, she made, well, that woman that lives in Florida. Well, I know that woman lives in Florida, but she made a website called ProtectingKids.online. Here's the website right here. And I'll read about this later on in the future. Because we still need to be going on about fighting against ageification and stuff like that. That's why. But I'll talk more about this pretty soon anyway. And I don't know if... Did the Electronic Idea Foundation so far mean anything about California? Alright, at least not yet, anyway. Anyway, that's all we can say about that bill anyway. And if you want to fight against ageification, go to BatteryInTheBills.com. Or you could also go to Julie Barrett's website too, called Protecting Kids Online. It's a very good website too. And I highly recommend this website too to anyone. Anyway, also stop killing the internet. And also stop killing games as well. Anyway. If there's any other California bill that you believe that's unconstitutional you want me to talk about, you can let me know in the comments below. Because I don't know all of them, that's why I haven't looked at all of them, that's why. But anyway. I'll find out what else to talk about next video because I have to go right now. I need to get ready for school pretty soon anyway. Because I'm getting my GD anyway. I have to go right now. But thank you for watching this video. Hope you enjoy. Say goodbye. Adios. And Zaijian. Alright. Well guys, I'm back because I just found out that AB 2634, this was called Privacy for Immigration Support Services Providers, or is it known as the Republicans are calling it, or the Republican Republicans are calling it, the Stop This Tyranny Act. Well, it got signed into law. Now it just got signed into law in April of this year. In August of this year. Sorry, I meant in August of this year now, so that's why. Even though I made my video just a few days before it got signed, and before this book got signed into law anyway. So now it's enacted, so. Anyway, you can read this to yourself if you want to, anyway. Anyway, I have to, just want to show you now the privacy obligation for support service providers, and also note stop make sure yet just got signed into law now, so that's why. And I was gonna upload this video today anyway, so that's why. Anyway, I'm just showing you right now anyway. Hopefully this law can either get blocked before it can get repeal bills going, before we can get repealed later. But hopefully we can get Steve Hilton to be governor anyway. Right here, right here, I'll also put here. What does every California want? And I put here, Republicans focus on solutions, and then Democrats focus on excuses. Yeah, that's what we put anyway. That's why you should vote Republican in California. You could also vote the for today. Yeah. That's what I'm trying to do right now anyway. And not all Republicans and Democrats support age vacation, but it's that most of them do. I know that, yeah. But the problem is that, me to you, the lawmakers are supporting age vacation. Well, first of all, they're old people, and they don't even know how the internet works, and that's the problem. Despite what you believe in, despite about this anyway. Hope we can get young people to become politicians and get age vacation laws repealed and get some better laws in the future. I know the midterm election is this November, so please vote for better people. Don't vote for the same people. Okay? And when we can stop this now is to vote for the right people in this November. in this midterm election, so that's why. I'm not just talking about California, but any other, because there's other states in the U.S. are also having age-fication and age attestation as well. That's why. And BaronetBills.com is a pretty good place to go anyway. And also protecting kids online is also a pretty good place to go too. You know, that's why. So that's why. All right. So and that's another good place to go. Yeah. And this one, StopKillingTheInternet.com, is a pretty good place to go too, and StopKillingGames.com. You know, that's why. So, I only made a post about the Stop Dick Dirty Act right here 4 days ago. Just before it got signed. Before it got signed to law, anyways. Just so you know, anyways. Anyway, I think I'll be talking about. I think my next video we'll talk about is AB 608 next, which is the high-speed rail, which is the bill about the high-speed rail project. Well, I'll talk about that bill next video anyway, because we have to go right now. But anyway, goodbye. Yeah, I have to go right now, so. Anyway, goodbye, friends. Oh yeah, you can also watch my Go to Heaven video on Rumble or BitChute, anyways, as they know, anyways. Anyway, I have to go right now, so goodbye, friends.